Imagine biting into a luxurious, golden-wrapped chocolate that not only melts in your mouth but also brings a symphony of flavors. The crispiness of wafer, the smoothness of hazelnut cream, the crunch of roasted hazelnuts, all encased in velvety milk chocolate. Ferrero Rocher has perfected this experience for chocolate lovers around the globe, making it one of the most iconic and beloved confectioneries of all time. But have you ever wondered how millions of these delicious little spheres are produced with such impeccable consistency? What goes on behind the scenes to ensure that every Ferrero Rocher you unwrap offers the same irresistible taste and texture? In today's video, we'll take you on an exclusive journey into the world of Ferrero Rocher, uncovering the fascinating details of its large-scale production. From the selection of top-quality ingredients to the intricate packaging process, we'll reveal how cutting-edge technology, including artificial intelligence, AI, helps maintain the brand's high standards while producing millions of chocolates daily. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're excited to learn about the secrets behind your favorite chocolates. Turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into the world of food production. First things first, before we get started on the production line, let's talk about the ingredients that make Ferrero Rocher so magical. Hazelnuts, milk chocolate, sugar, cocoa butter, low-fat cocoa powder, cocoa mass, skim milk powder, butter oil, lecithin, which is used as an emulsifier, vanillin, an artificial vanilla flavoring, palm oil, wheat flour, whey, sodium bicarbonate, a leavening agent, and salt are the essential components that, when combined, create the luxurious layers that make up Ferrero Rocher. In particular, Ferrero is very careful when it comes to sourcing these ingredients, particularly the hazelnuts, which are an essential component of the flavor profile of the chocolate. Every single one of these hazelnuts is put through a stringent selection process, which guarantees that only the very best ones are included in the final product. The sourcing and selection process takes into account not only the flavor, but also the consistency of the color, texture, and quality across the millions of chocolates that are produced each day. The first thing that needs to be done in order to make a Ferrero Rocher is to make the delicate wafer ball that will eventually become the candy's crispy center. At this stage of the procedure, a batter is prepared by combining wheat flour, water, sugar, salt, and sodium bicarbonate, among other ingredients. There are times when yeast is added to the wafer in order to give it a lighter texture. However, this is not always required. The batter is deposited into hemispherical molds by automatized machines, and then the molds are transported via conveyor belts into gas ovens that are heated to high temperatures. Using these molds, the batter is baked into wafer shells that are crisp, and then the wafer shells are joined together to form perfect spherical balls. This is the point at which the magic of artificial intelligence starts to materialize. The baking process is monitored in real time by temperature sensors that are driven by artificial intelligence. This is done to ensure that each wafer ball has the same texture, crispiness, and shape. Artificial intelligence algorithms are constantly adjusting the temperature inside the oven, making minute adjustments as required. This level of precision guarantees that every wafer ball will continue to be of the same high quality, thereby removing the possibility of human error and maximizing the effectiveness of the production process. Immediately after the wafer balls have been formed, they are prepared to be filled with Nutella, which is Ferrero's well-known chocolate hazelnut spread. During a separate procedure, hazelnuts are roasted and ground into a paste. After that, they are mixed with sugar, cocoa, and milk to produce this well-liked filling. Wafer balls are filled with this decadent hazelnut cream by means of filling machines that are fully automated. Of course, that is not all. A whole roasted hazelnut is inserted into each wafer ball, in addition to the Nutella that is already present. Not only does this hazelnut contribute to the candy's crunch, but it also enhances the nutty flavor, which is what makes Ferrero Rocher so distinctive. When it comes to ensuring that each hazelnut satisfies Ferrero Rocher's stringent standards, artificial intelligence systems play a crucial role. During the process of moving along the conveyor belt, high-resolution computer vision systems examine each and every hazelnut to determine its size, shape, and color. If it is determined that a hazelnut is flawed in some way, such as being too small, misshapen, or discolored, then it is automatically thrown away. This process ensures that only the finest hazelnuts are used in the production of the chocolates, which in turn guarantees that each Ferrero Rocher is of the highest possible quality. The first chocolate coating is the next step in the production process that needs to be completed. As the wafer balls, which are now stuffed with hazelnuts and Nutella, make their way through a curtain of melted milk chocolate, they are served. The smooth texture of the chocolates is a result of this layer, which also serves as the foundation for the subsequent coatings. At this stage, it is absolutely necessary to keep the temperature and viscosity of the melted chocolate at the ideal level in order to guarantee that the chocolate is distributed evenly. This layer's thickness is also very important because it will serve as a foundation for the chopped hazelnut coating that will be applied in the following step. Immediately after the wafer balls have been covered with the first layer of milk chocolate, they proceed to the next step, which is the coating of chopped hazelnuts. This step is responsible for the distinctive crunch that Ferrero Rocher is known for. The wafer balls that are covered in chocolate and are still warm are rolled in hazelnuts that have been finely chopped. As the chocolates travel along the conveyor belt, the chopped hazelnuts are sprinkled on top of them by machines that are automated. The remaining nuts are then brushed off, which ensures that the coating is uniform. Again, artificial intelligence technology guarantees accuracy. The amount of hazelnut coating that is applied to each chocolate is measured by sensors, and automated systems make adjustments in real time to ensure that each chocolate has the ideal amount of nutty coating. After the layer of chopped hazelnuts has been carefully positioned, it is now time to apply the final layer of chocolate coating. Another layer of melted milk chocolate is applied to the wafer balls before they are dipped in it. All of the hazelnuts are protected by this layer, which also imparts a glossy and smooth finish to the chocolate. After the chocolates have been completely assembled and coated, the next step is to wrap them in the distinctive gold foil that Ferrero Rocher uses to make their products instantly recognizable. High-speed machines wrap each individual chocolate in luxurious gold foil, which serves both an aesthetic and protective purpose. And then they are arranged in a neat manner inside of clear plastic boxes, which are then prepared for distribution all over the world. Artificial intelligence technology guarantees that the wrapping process is as effective as it can possibly be. The wrapping machines are equipped with sensors that monitor their speed and alignment. These sensors then make automatic adjustments to ensure that there are no misalignments or packaging jams. This not only helps to speed up production, but it also guarantees that every Ferrero Rocher is beautifully wrapped and ready to be displayed by the end of the day. Before being distributed to retailers, each batch of chocolates produced by Ferrero Rocher is subjected to a stringent inspection process. This is because the company takes great pride in producing chocolates of a consistent and high-quality taste. An advanced artificial intelligence system will perform a final inspection to look for any visual flaws, such as cracks in the chocolate coating, uneven distribution of hazelnuts, or imperfect wrapping. There is a significant amount of quality control that is carried out by machines. However, human taste testers also play an important role. In order to guarantee that the chocolates are up to the exacting flavor and texture standards set by Ferrero Rocher, these professionals meticulously examine each batch. The refined palates of these individuals are able to detect even the most minute variations in flavor, which guarantees that each and every Ferrero Rocher provides the same signature experience. Artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning are essential components of this final inspection phase. Before the chocolates reach the packaging stage, advanced image recognition software scans each chocolate to identify any imperfections. Meanwhile, artificial intelligence algorithms analyze the data collected throughout the production process to identify any problems that may have occurred. Ferrero Rocher's iconic gold boxes are only filled with chocolates of the highest possible quality as a result of this two-pronged approach. The distribution network of Ferrero Rocher is nothing short of impressive, considering that the company produces millions of chocolates every single day. In order to ensure that Ferrero Rocher is accessible to chocolate lovers all over the world, the chocolates are packaged in boxes and then shipped to retailers in more than 140 countries. AI, however, is already playing a part in the optimization of the supply chain at this stage. The company is able to better forecast demand, manage inventory, and cut down on waste with the assistance of predictive analytics and machine learning algorithms. Because of this technology, Ferrero Rocher chocolates are guaranteed to be readily available at all times, allowing the company to satisfy customer demand without either overproducing or understocking. Despite its current status as a global powerhouse, Ferrero Rocher was not always that way. Although it was first introduced in 1982, the brand quickly became well known due to the exceptional combination of taste, texture, and luxurious presentation that it offered. From the very beginning, Ferrero Rocher stood out from other chocolates due to the meticulous attention to detail that it displayed. A symbol of indulgence and sophistication, the intricate layers, the quality of the ingredients, and the golden wrapping all contributed to the creation of this masterpiece. Ferrero Rocher is a brand that has become synonymous with luxury and quality, and fans of chocolate all over the world adore this chocolate brand. The commitment of the brand to upholding its high standards while simultaneously embracing contemporary technologies such as artificial intelligence guarantees that Ferrero Rocher will continue to be a market leader in the chocolate industry for many years to come. Every day, millions of Ferrero Rocher chocolates are manufactured, which is a remarkable feat of modern technology, skilled craftsmanship, and meticulous attention to detail. Every step is meticulously designed to deliver a consistent and luxurious experience, from selecting the finest hazelnuts to wrapping each chocolate in its signature golden foil. This method ensures that the experience is consistent and luxurious. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you found this in-depth exploration of the world of Ferrero Rocher to be enjoyable. We will continue to provide you with fascinating insights into the world of food production. You will never miss an update if you make sure to ring that notification bell. The next time you indulge in a Ferrero Rocher, take a moment to reflect on the remarkable method and cutting-edge technology that went into creating that exquisitely delicious morsel of chocolate bliss. But have you ever wondered how those noodles packed with flavor are made in such huge quantities? Today, we're taking you behind the scenes into the fascinating world of instant noodle production, where millions of packets are churned out daily to satisfy cravings across the globe. From mixing the dough to sealing the final package, every step is a blend of precision, technology, and innovation. Hit that subscribe button and let's dive into the mesmerizing process of creating the noodles you love. Ready? Let's get started. The journey of instant noodles begins in an enormous warehouse brimming with raw ingredients: wheat flour, water, salt, and a special secret agent known only as Kanu. But what makes these elements so special? Let's break it down. Wheat flour is the soul of the noodles, providing structure and elasticity. It is carefully sourced from regions where the climate and soil are ideal for growing high-quality wheat. Factory water, of course, is the universal hydrator, but even the water used in noodles is treated with care. Factories employ purification systems to ensure that the water is free from any contaminants, maintaining the pristine quality of the noodles. Salt, the simplest of ingredients, does more than just add flavor. It helps regulate the gluten structure in the dough, ensuring that it holds its shape during the production process. The amount of salt added is carefully controlled to maintain the perfect flavor profile across every batch of noodles. And then there's Kanu, the factory's best-kept secret. This ingredient, whether it's an enzyme, a starch, or something else entirely, works behind the scenes to give noodles that magic texture. Kanu ensures the noodles are firm yet tender, offering the perfect bite every time. It's the unsung hero of noodle production, and its exact composition is guarded closely by the manufacturers, creating a sense of mystery and allure around the product. Too little mixing, and the dough remains lumpy and uneven. Too much mixing, and the dough becomes overworked, resulting in tough noodles, ensuring that the dough has the perfect level of elasticity and texture. This dough, now a uniform mass, is the foundation for the noodles that millions of people will eventually enjoy. With the dough perfectly mixed, it's too thick, and the noodles become chewy and dense, too thin, and they'll be too delicate to hold up during cooking. Interestingly, factories can adjust the roller settings to create different types of noodles. For instance, ramen noodles are typically thicker than soba noodles, and udon noodles are even thicker still. Once the dough is sheeted to the perfect thickness, it's time for the slicing process. The dough moves along a conveyor belt and reaches a set of razor-sharp blades that slice it into strands. These blades are precisely calibrated to cut the noodles into their iconic wavy shape. The waves aren't just for aesthetics. They help the noodles cook evenly by increasing surface area, allowing water to penetrate more quickly. The slicing process happens in a flash, with hundreds of noodles being cut simultaneously. Each strand is exactly the same thickness and length, a feat of precision engineering that ensures consistency across millions of noodles. This uniformity is important not just for visual appeal, but also for cooking consistency. Imagine cooking noodles where some strands are too thick and others too thin. It would be a disaster. The noodles are now recognizable as the product we all know, but their journey is far from over. After the noodles are sliced, they're sent to the steaming station, a critical step in their transformation from raw dough to a convenient meal, where advanced automation truly shines. Because when you buy a pack of noodles, you expect a certain quantity and consistency. This precision guarantees that every packet has the exact amount of noodles promised on the label, whether you're buying a single-serve cup or a family-sized block. Robotic arms handle the cutting process with millimeter-level accuracy, a testament to the wonders of modern food production technology. Once the noodles are cut into, the molded noodles are now ready for one of the most crucial steps in the production process: frying. Instant noodles owe much of their convenience to this step, as frying locks in the noodles' shape and gives them their long shelf life. The noodles are flash fried in hot oil for a few minutes, which rapidly dehydrates them. This dehydration is key to their quick cooking ability. When you add boiling water at home, the noodles rehydrate almost instantly. The oil used in this process also adds flavor and helps preserve the noodles for months without spoiling. The frying process is carefully timed to ensure that the noodles are cooked just enough to maintain their structure, but not so much that they become greasy or lose their flavor. Once fried, the noodles are ready for the next step in their journey. After frying, the noodles are cooled quickly to prevent overcooking. Industrial cooling units use blasts of cold air to bring the temperature of the noodles down in a matter of seconds. The noodles cool, they are demolded and placed onto conveyor belts for the next stage of production. The timing here is critical. If the noodles aren't cooled properly, they could become soggy or oily, which would ruin their texture. Every designated container, be it a cup, a bowl. The robots work tirelessly to get the noodles from the production line to the shelves in record time, and they do it all with unmatched precision. Instant noodles wouldn't be the global sensation they are without their iconic flavor packets. Whether it's a rich, savory broth or a tangy sauce, the flavor is what turns a simple packet of noodles into a complete meal. At this stage, flavor packets containing seasoning, sauces, and sometimes dried vegetables are added to the noodle containers. Once the flavor packets are added, the noodles and their accompaniments are sealed inside their containers. This process involves placing lids on the cups or packets, which are then passed through specialized sealing machines. These machines use a combination of heat and pressure to create an airtight seal, ensuring that the noodles remain fresh until you're ready to enjoy them. Sealing is an essential step because it protects the noodles from air, moisture, and contaminants. Without a proper seal, the noodles could become stale or lose their flavor over time. Factories use state-of-the-art technology to ensure that each package is sealed perfectly, creating an airtight environment that preserves both taste and texture for months. Fully automated, with robotic arms working swiftly to bundle and box hundreds of noodle packages every minute. The plastic wrapping serves as an extra layer of protection, keeping the noodles safe from moisture and the path of rice takes human innovation, natural resources, and technological wonders, from soggy fields to mega factories that brim with the most advanced equipment. Rice, the most bountiful of grains, which has been responsible for nurturing nations spanning millennia and plays a pivotal role in global food security, continues to be a subject of investigation in many quarters. We are going to dig deep into one of the most important crops harvested in huge proportion. From paddies to the plant, everyone has a role in keeping rice on the plates of billions. Well then, strap in and keep watching to uncover the mysteries of rice cultivation. Comment below and let us know. If you love learning about the behind the scenes of global food production, hit the bell icon for notifications on our latest videos, and be sure to tell us which in-depth look at your favorite foods you want to see next. Choose the right field. The selection of fields is the first and one of the most important steps in the life cycle of rice reaching us. The site selection for rice is critically important, as not every piece of land can be used for rice growing. Rice is usually grown in regions with plentiful water, and the best fields are generally close to a good water source such as rivers or reservoirs. Rice cultivation in nature's seasonal rhythms, perfect synchronization, and rainy season is over. The tropical and subtropical abundant rain rice areas. The right side field needed the perfect blend of precipitation, warm temperatures, and soil conditions to ensure these creatures received all the nutrients and hydration they would need throughout their growing season. Farmers have to test the soil before any planting is done to ensure that it can be used for rice farming. Analysis of soil pH, structure, and fertility is done in detail because these elements have a direct effect on the health and yield of the crop. Depending upon the composition of the soil being used, it may be necessary to add amendments such as fertilizers or lime in order to maintain proper pH and fertility levels. Their land is prepped to remove debris using machines such as stone pickers and strip tillers that break up the field and leave a flat surface. This will be important later on, as flooding the fields requires a flat surface. The groundwork seems intense, including bulldozers for things like water control and compacting the ground under the soon-to-be rice paddies. When the fields are prepared, we head to the paddy fields. This is where the real magic happens. Rice is grown in a way that needs waterlogged fields called paddies. These paddies play reflected in the process of learning and upbringing, both for the growth of rice and to combat weeds and pests. Farmers will often build a network of levees and dikes around the fields, which creates compartments in which water can be controlled or held before being added. The fields are filled with water once the levees have been constructed. The water level is key. It must be just a few inches to cover the soil without submerging the young rice plants. One thing we know for sure are the irrigation systems here. No more arguments are needed there. In rice cultivating areas, irrigation frameworks can some of the time appear to be a living maze with water-bearing channels and siphons controlling water through the bundling systems and outflow outlets in the thumpovers. Because managing water is a little complicated task, given that it needs to be adjusted frequently on the basis of occurrences like rain, adding water, evaporation, remove, add, and drainage. Modern rice farming often uses sensors and automated systems to keep check on water levels and maintain their level as per requirements. It is important for the proper management of water that a little amount should not have any less nor much. If left balanced too long, plants odds state weeds, competition, pest infestation, etc. After blooming is the seeding phase, the critical make or break part for how much copra will be produced, from manual seeding to the modern rice farming process. Seeders are machines used to sow the seeds uniformly over these water-soaked paddy beds by farmers. These machines add seeds to the ground at the appropriate depth so they can start growing and establishing roots. Thus, seeding occurs during a planned time of planting. Rice can be grown in tropical climates where the farmers may prefer to plant 2 or 3 crops of rice throughout the year, coordinating to the seasonal rainfall patterns. Rice is grown in cooler climates 1 crop per year, and timing of planting depends on the frost-free growing season. As seeds are sown, an amazing change takes its course. In a matter of days, the once empty paddies are transformed into acres of emerald as the seeds sprout and shoots begin to appear. And I cannot even express how amazing it is when whole fields are blooming, looking up to the sky and trying to teach us what life is all about. Water cubes are another key task to keep up, remaining crucial throughout the season. Throughout the growing season, rice plants are almost always submerged in water, and farmers carefully monitor and control their water levels to provide optimal conditions for growth. In the vegetative phase, the water level should be deep enough to submerge only the lower part of plants and not too deep until it chokes them. Once the corn is taller and forming grains, then it can grow with less water, because the roots will have most of the required oxygen for an optimal development and also better exposure to sunlight in order for the top part of plant to do its job. Certainly, a network of canals and pumps is employed to carry water in the fields as well as once wanted. Since rice is planted and harvested in alternating wet and dry phases using water from the river, farmers have vigilantly watched the weather, changing their water levels depending on rainfall and evaporation. Nowadays, the use of sensors for detecting soil moisture and water levels in automated irrigation systems is a major leap forward in terms of managing scarce resources such as water with more precision. Farmers prefer these methods in areas where water is a limited resource and might use alternative options like direct seeding, that is, to germinate seeds without first broadcasting them on watery fields, rather than flood the rice field. Let's jump into the machines. With the new technology and automated agriculture, the future of rice farming is bright. Meet the Agrobo, an agricultural robot that works autonomously in our rice fields. The robots are programmed to undertake certain tasks that include planting seeds, monitoring the health of specified crops, and even fertilizing them. With sensors and AI, Agrobo machines can gather data on soil content, water levels, and plant life, making decisions to better the growth if necessary. Some advanced rice farms have these robots that operate in concert with human farmers. They weed and thin the crop to make sure only the strongest plants thrive. The technology results in an increment of yield and quality. It removes the chance of human error and ensures that rice grows under perfect conditions. Picture a moment in the future as you stride across fields of rice growing for miles, watched over by drones and robots toiling away, treating each grain individually. Well-known, most advanced, widespread rice farming operations around the world have made it happen from fantasy to reality. Humanity has faced pests from time immemorial, and farmers have always been on the front lines of their battle. Nowadays, drones have become one of the crucial tools for pest control, together with other sensors or excessive resolution cameras. The drones fly over rice fields and look for signs of infestation, like damaged leaves or weird growth. Early identification of these signs allows farmers to act before pests spread and cause significant damage. This precision is also true for pesticides that can be applied with the drone. For example, drones may be used to apply pesticides area-specifically instead of spraying entire fields indiscriminately. By doing this, which chemicals are used and thus minimizing the environmental impact as well as production costs? Other drones are fitted with beneficial insect dispensers, which introduce biological control elements of harmful insects into the fields. Rice is not a fast-growing crop. It takes 120 days from the planting time for rice to mature fully. However, the time may vary depending on the rice type and the growing conditions. Some rice species mature in 90 days, while others take up to 180 days to fully ripe. Meanwhile, different growth stages require different growing conditions and care. Germination takes a week, vegetation takes 2 months, ripening takes a month, and the ripening maturation takes 10 days. Once the germination stage is complete, the rice plants enter the vegetation phase, where they rapidly grow leaves filled with tillers. After 2 months, the rice enters the ripening phase, from where it will develop grain-filled panicles. Finally, the plant signals it is ready to be harvested as it turns colors. The process crucially involves water and nutrient management, as well as pest control to help the healthy growth of the plant. When the plant is mature, the harvest is ready. Harvesting has evolved in the recent past. Initially, the crop was hand-cut, as workers would lean and cut the plants. Today, machines have evolved that use GPS and sensory technology to determine the moisture and mature condition of the plants. The machines only suck the renal section of the plant while leaving the stem. The plants are fed into the harvester's conveyor system, which separates the grain from straw after being cut. Grains are gathered and stored in huge containers. Straw is generally left on the field to decay and help afterward soil recover. Straw being collected for animal feed or a natural mulch used between the rows of cotton near Rio Vista, California. The next step after harvesting is dispatching the rice to processing factories. This process is a logistical wonder in its own right. A fleet of tractors, trucks, and trailer belts carrying freshly harvested rice competitively move from the fields to its factory in larger provinces of rice production. In this case, it is all about time. If the rice trucks do not travel fast enough to the final destination, then the moisture and quality of rice dilapidate. These vehicles are carefully loaded with the harvested paddy and sent in bulk to the factories. This is still a raw form of the rice with a tough outer shell clinging to each kernel, and only through removing it can the polished rice be ready for consumption. The rice is temporarily stored in huge silos in the factories before being processed. The silos are temperature controlled so that the rice stays fresh and not moldy or spoiled. From standing rice to grain, it's the process of converting paddy to rice from its raw stage to edible once it reaches the factory. Dehusking is the first step in which the outer layer of paddy, husk, is removed. In the mills, that is done with specialized machines with crusher rolls. The rollers are finely tuned to mangle the husks without eviscerating the grains within them. Once you remove the husks, however, it still has another layer surrounding it called bran. In the case of non-brown rice, this part also has to be removed, as in white rice, which leaves behind bran. Husks are collected and can be used for other purposes during dehusking. Some of the factories utilize the shells as some sort of biofuel to power their machines. Thus, they were an eco-friendly reagent for reducing carbon footprints for a factory processing palm oil. The husks go on to be animal feed or added to compost for crop fields in some cases. The rice then goes through the process of dehusking and eventually gets boiler in a large industrial furnace. This process, called parboiling, has two main benefits. It loosens the seed coats and any bleed-in bran or husk organic material, pericarp, and it changes much of the starch in the endosperm into amylose. Because of this, parboiling actually pushes nutrients from the furthest layer of the rice into the rest of the grain, making it healthier than other white rice that hasn't been parboiled. After cooking, the rice is dispatched to drying chambers. Here, the rice is mechanically dried to a specific moisture content. After drying, the rice is then sorted and graded. In current times, optical sorters analyze every grain for size, shape, and color, as most of the work is automated in factories. They can determine small, medium, or different level impurities and discharge bad class grains that are too small, not enough symmetric, or with an improper color, so that combining the factory and market's equally high requirements, producing a batch of uniform quality that satisfied them both. However, not all of the grains that make it to the final stage are in pristine condition. Most often, they are used in animal feed or processed foods. This makes sure that nothing is wasted and the factory runs as smoothly as possible. Data cleanup, some type of rice, like white rice, also needs to be polished after this stage. This rice is then put through a polisher to shine and smooth the grains, as well as to remove bran layers. This step can be skipped with brown rice or other varieties, but most people use white rice, which has to be polished for its dainty texture and appearance. It also increases the cooking properties of rice, making them easy to cook uniformly and providing a consistent texture during serving. The rice has been packaged and is finally ready for sale. Automated packaging machines in big factories measure and fill bag sizes that range from small consumer-sized packets to large industrial bags intended for restaurants and food service companies. The finalists are bagged, sealed, labeled, and sent out for distribution. It is operating a large distribution as consumption on the planet of rice, which asserts that it is one of the most widely used in food. Then the packaged rice makes its way to markets around the world, before ultimately ending up on store shelves and eventually dinner tables. These large, highly technologically advanced tractors are used by farmers to turn and loosen the soil, so rendering it rich and ready for planting. Both enchanting and mouth-watering. Let's go back in time for a moment so we can understand the historical context and origins. Were you aware that the origins of marshmallows can be found in ancient Egypt? In fact, honey and almonds were originally added to marshmallows prepared from plant sap. The French later perfected the recipe and made the sugary delicacies that we know and love today, which is quite a few centuries later. However, marshmallows did not begin their transition from a high-end treat to a mass-produced candy good until the 19th century. The true paradigm shift occurred during the Industrial Revolution, which ushered in industrialization. The demand for hand-piped marshmallows was increasing, so makers had to think significantly larger to meet them. Technology found its way in at this point. Modern megafactories take the idea of mass-producing marshmallows to a whole new level, consistently and precisely producing millions of marshmallows every day. This capability was first introduced in the 20th century. Where to find raw materials and ingredients? So let's get down to the ingredients. Sugar, corn syrup, gelatin, and flavorings are the simplest components that bring marshmallow enchantment. No ordinary sugar or gelatin will suffice, though. Big companies only use materials from suppliers that are at the very top of their game when it comes to quality. For the perfect marshmallow, you need 3 ingredients: pure sugar, corn syrup of the proper viscosity, and gelatin, which gives the candy its distinctive texture. Ensuring these substances are of the highest quality is no easy task. Prior to entering the production line, substances undergo rigorous testing to ensure their purity and pH levels. Imagine it as a screening process where only the most deserving chefs pass. There is a strong emphasis on using products that are as natural and sustainably obtained as possible in today's environment, as customers are becoming more health concerned. Speaking of sustainability, a growing number of manufacturing facilities are switching to more environmentally friendly methods of sourcing their raw materials. One example is the growing trend of purchasing gelatin from companies that practice sustainable farming. Gelatin is often made from animal collagen. Also, non-GMO corn can be used to make corn syrup, which is an important component. This is a baby step toward making our baked goods less harmful to the environment. Sugar and corn syrup. Okay, now we can dive into the specifics of producing marshmallows. The foundation mixture must be prepared first. For this, you'll need exact measurements of corn syrup and sugar. The next step is to bring the ingredients to a certain temperature, which will thicken and stickyify the combination. This syrup will subsequently form the sugary base of our marshmallows. While the corn syrup and sugar are simmering, the gelatin is made in a separate pot. To make sure it's completely melted and ready to blend, it's dissolved in water and heated. Because it provides structure, gelatin is essential to marshmallows. Without it, the sweet treat would just be a sugar pool. The exciting part starts with the flavors and additives. A wide range of colors and flavors, both natural and artificial, can be added to the combination in factories. With this stage, you can personalize it to your heart's content, whether it's traditional vanilla, strawberry, or chocolate. Additionally, we must not overlook the additives, which are substances that either lengthen the marshmallow's shelf life or keep them from sticking together. Cutting-edge methods for blending mixers with a high speed. When everything is prepared, the ingredients are mixed using high-speed mixers. The unsung heroes of the marshmallow world are these industrial mixers, which blend everything to a smooth, consistent texture. The automatic mixers eliminate human mistake in batch mixing, which is crucial in the production of marshmallows due to the importance of time. In this stage, temperature control is of the utmost importance. If the temperature is too high, the combination will be excessively watery. If it's too low, it will be nearly hard to handle. To make sure that every marshmallow has the same delicious texture, modern factories use precise temperature control systems to maintain the mixture at the ideal temperature. The aeration phase, which is responsible for marshmallow's characteristic puffiness, comes next. Modern aeration technology is used to whip air into the mixture, resulting in uniform distribution of microscopic bubbles. To make marshmallows that are fluffy, light, and delicious to bite into, this is an essential step. Now that the mixture is ready, shape it with the help of an extrusion machine. To make lengthy, continuous strands of marshmallow, modern extrusion machines are able to push the airy mixture via nozzles. Engineering wonders, these machines can crank out thousands of feet of marshmallow rope every hour. High-speed cutting mechanisms chop the marshmallow ropes into uniform pieces as soon as they come out of the extruder. These machines are incredibly accurate. They can shape marshmallows into any desired shape, be it a perfect cube, cylinder, star, or heart. Speaking of personalized shapes, marshmallow companies frequently employ interchangeable molds and dies to produce a wide variety of designs. Thanks to today's technology, you may find anything, from the basic cube to something completely new. The newly sliced marshmallows are coated with cornstarch so that they don't stick to one another. This process is rooted in both tradition and necessity. For decades, marshmallows have been kept soft and separated using cornstarch. But why limit yourself to only the outside? The use of precise injection technologies allows for the insertion of fillings or taste to some marshmallows. A whole new level of flavor complexity may be achieved with these current techniques, whether it's a blast of fruit flavor or a gooey chocolate center. As if that weren't decadent enough, certain marshmallows are given an extra dose of luxury with unique coatings. Coating machines that run on conveyors take ordinary marshmallows and transform them into gourmet treats by adding chocolate, coconut, or even sprinkles. The production of millions of marshmallows makes automated inspection a must for ensuring product quality. Every marshmallow is inspected for uniformity in size, shape, and texture using high-speed cameras and inspection systems powered by artificial intelligence. Only the finest marshmallows make it to packaging because these technologies are so sophisticated that they can detect the tiniest faults. As part of their quality control procedures, companies take samples from each batch and put them through in-lab testing alongside automated inspections. To make sure the marshmallows retain their delicious flavor even after being stored for a while, these tests measure characteristics like texture and flavor stability. No amount of technology can guarantee that mistakes won't occur. For this reason, manufacturing facilities contain mechanisms to identify and address any discrepancies that may arise. These mechanisms make sure that any problems, such broken machines, or mixed-up ingredients are identified and fixed fast. The next step is to package the marshmallows if they pass inspection. Fully automated packaging lines allow modern companies to pack each marshmallow rapidly and hygienically. While keeping to the strictest of hygiene standards, these lines can fill and seal bags with ease. To keep them fresh for longer, many marshmallows are vacuum sealed to eliminate air, which shortens their shelf life. From the factory to your cupboard, these marshmallows will remain fresh and fluffy thanks to this technology. Last but not least, high-speed labeling equipment are used to label and brand the packaging. These machines check that all of the necessary features, such as the brand's emblem and nutritional information, are printed on each package. Transporting marshmallows in a temperature-controlled environment is of the utmost importance when it comes to cold chain logistics. Whether they're being sent across town or across the globe, cold chain logistics keeps marshmallows tasting great the whole way. In the background, sophisticated tracking technologies keep an eye on the whole distribution network, guaranteeing that the marshmallows will reach their destination promptly and undamaged. The supply chain cannot function reliably and efficiently without these systems. Sustainable manufacturing has seen a significant uptick in support in recent years, and this trend has led to some interesting innovations in the marshmallow industry. Companies are decreasing waste, recycling production byproducts, and investing in energy-efficient machinery. In addition to helping the environment, these initiatives will likely appeal to the growing number of customers seeking out green items. The manufacturing of marshmallows is being transformed with the advent of AI and robots. These technologies are enhancing production speed, efficiency, and precision, with examples including AI-driven quality control and robotic arms handling packing. We should anticipate even more advancements in the future as AI keeps becoming better. So after marshmallows, what's the plan? More nutritious alternatives with less sugar are on the rise, as are marshmallows with unique flavors sourced from all over the globe, and even vegan and gluten-free varieties to meet individual dietary demands. What the future brings for this timeless delight is anyone's guess, and the possibilities are thrilling. It takes a lot of effort to make millions of marshmallows daily. Ensuring uniformity and high quality in such massive volumes is a major obstacle. To maintain such high standards, factories must continually monitor and tweak their procedures to guarantee that every marshmallow satisfies them. Production of marshmallows can be significantly affected by disruptions in the global supply chain. Manufacturing facilities need to be ready to respond rapidly to unforeseen challenges, such as ingredient shortages or transportation delays. Maintaining uninterrupted manufacturing typically necessitates having backup suppliers or alternate transportation routes. In the end, companies need to follow all the rules and regulations that pertain to the food sector, including those that concern health and safety. There are strict regulations covering everything from hygiene to labeling, and businesses risk closure or heavy fines if they don't follow them. That is why it is paramount for every big factory to comply with regulations. Personalization is king in today's industry. For parties, events, or other special occasions, customers may now place orders for marshmallows in a variety of forms, colors, and flavors through some mega manufacturers' custom marshmallow services. In today's cutthroat business climate, this trend is both a fun and strategic strategy to attract and retain customers. Online and social media campaigns are quite important. In an effort to engage customers and foster brand loyalty, companies are getting inventive, using anything from Instagram-worthy photographs to popular TikTok videos. Lastly, interactive tours are becoming more common, with some manufacturers even welcoming the public through virtual or in-person visits. These tours provide customers an opportunity to witness the making of their favorite sweets up close and personal, giving them a glimpse into the production process. Establishing credibility and establishing a stronger bond with customers can be achieved through this method. So there you have it, the complete process of making a marshmallow from start to finish. It's a method that combines old and new ways of making one of the most famous candies in the world, utilizing industrial technology. Conclusion: the creation of marshmallows exemplifies the remarkable progress we have made in the field of food processing, as we have seen. From their humble beginnings in ancient Egypt to the modern-day mega factories that produce them, marshmallows have come a long way. Sweet delight. Who can say what the future holds for these fluffy treats as technology continues to advance? The history of marshmallows, from their production facility to your plate, is an interesting and delightful one.